quick one on fact checking in the age of Gen AI, but specifically the challenges that aren't immediately obvious. I've got tons of videos on why fact checking matters, and I'll probably do something more in depth another time. Here, I want to focus on what we're actually trying to achieve and why it's trickier than it looks. Independent consensus. A claim is made, do multiple independent sources back it up, and to what degree? Before going any further, I just want to make it clear that fact checking here isn't about establishing truth with a capital T. We're simply trying to establish consensus across independent sources. And it turns out engineering that behavior in an agent is harder than you'd think. First, source provenance. With fact checking, you want corroboration, multiple independent sources saying a similar thing, not mirrors of the same source. If you're checking a consultancy claim from, say, PwC or Deloitte, you don't want to keep picking up their research, their blog, their media kit, and every press reprint that echoes the same paragraph. Exclude those domains from the pool of knowledge so you're not just looping the original. In our case, the public internet is the pool, so domain filtering matters. But there are edge cases. Archive is one. You don't want to exclude the whole domain because there are independently published journals living there. By domains, what I'm describing here is any place that's ultimately responsible for the information ecosystem it hosts. Filter those when they're repeating a single parent source. Keep public repositories that host genuinely independent authors. So essentially, you filter McKinsey if you're looking at McKinsey articles, but don't filter archive if you find something on archive that you want to check. After domain filtering, the problems get more tricky. There are subtle gotchas that creep in with claim decomposition. Quick reminder, claim decomposition is just how we break down a long document into its relevant claims. The goal is to extract verifiable atomic claims. Let's talk about an issue that came up with what I call phantom systems. This is how I discovered that claim decomposition is tricky. We need to tell the LLM the boundaries of a claim. This ties directly into context management. Take this phantom example. 24% of organizations report organization-wide deployment of these systems. Why does this claim fail? These systems is too vague to verify. A claim should stand on its own. The context is missing, reducing the precision of the claim. We don't know which systems are being discussed, and neither will the agent. We need to prompt the model to ensure the wider context is captured. For example, 24% of organizations have deployed smart workflows and human-machine collaboration systems organization-wide. Now it's clear we're talking about human-machine collaboration. So the fact-checking agent must be prompted to understand that a claim must be verifiable. And in our case, that means verifiable on the public internet. If we can't isolate the claim sufficiently, we can't verify it. The key is ensuring that the right context is captured by the prompt. The brute force way to do this is to feed the entire document alongside each claim, but that's expensive, inefficient, and not necessarily the best performing approach. However, there are more scalable options. Option 1, which I've implemented, is to prompt the claim decomposition to generate context around each claim. This requires careful prompting, and the context is returned in a separate key to maintain structure. Option 2 is to implement a retrieval-based approach, using keyword matching around the claim and pulling a few sentences either side, assuming there's enough to capture the necessary context. Option 2 would be cheaper and less token-heavy. Option 1 provides more flexibility in capturing context, though it's more token-intensive and probably slower. The next issue is what I call self-referential spiral. Picking up claims that simply refer to something the author says, which we might want to take at face value. For example, we don't want to fact check the claim, we studied 100 people in our survey. That's an internal statement, not a verifiable claim. So we need precision prompting to tell the agent what type of claims are claims we care about. I'll flash some of the prompt guardrails we put in place on screen for your own benefit. Feel free to pause here. The fact checker is available in the description. Give it a try.